Hello, welcome back. This week I'm going to share with you some of the paper dolls I've been working on. I've been doing a lot more work, spending time drawing and doing some coloring, and I'm starting to get the hang of using my pen tablet and the software called Krita, which I've been using to draw and color with, and I'm excited to share with you some of the projects I've been working on. So this is more just a generic doll to showcase some modern styles that I love playing around with, just creating different fashions and designs. It's one of the reasons I got interested in sewing, was because I wanted to sew exactly what I wanted to wear, not just be stuck with whatever I find on the rack in a store. And so sewing is a way to kind of bring that to life, but drawing those designs has always been something I've enjoyed doing. And my sister and I started playing with paper dolls when we were quite young, and since we come from a creative, artistic family, once we started playing with paper dolls, it was just a matter of time before we started using paper and tracing our own outfits for the dolls. So we've continued that tradition. I've kept up the hobby for several years now, and still doodle away. Lately I've been starting to include my daughters in the process. Sometimes they like to choose what colors I get to paint with. So this is an outfit that they chose all the colors for. You can tell they like bright colors. Lots of orange, lots of pink. But that's been fun to kind of just play around with them. And once they're a little bit older and they're using scissors, then it'll be fun to share some actual paper dolls with them so that they can cut them out and play with them. But right now, they're only two, so they're not quite to the point of using scissors responsibly yet. We'll get there. But I love paper dolls. Just there's so much you can do with them, and they're so easy to play with, for kids to play with, to use your imagination, and anything is possible. And they're also so easy to take places because it's a quiet activity, and you can stack up, multiple paper dolls and their outfits. Even 100 of them isn't going to be a stack bigger than about this. So it's very, very portable. So if you ever need a quiet activity, paper dolls come highly recommended by me. But I've been getting back into drawing some historical styles, which is my initial love of fashion and paper dolls was via historical paper dolls, especially the ones created by Tom Tierney. And those have always been where my greatest interest was. The last couple of years, I've done a lot more modern styles because I was starting to get interested in sewing, and so it kind of went hand in hand. Because I was creating designs that I wanted to sew, I was making modern designs because unfortunately I don't have any reason to have a dress from 1730 or a bustle skirt from 1880. It's my life just doesn't include parties that would require that sort of dress. So jeans and a t-shirt it is for me. But it's been fun getting back into kind of designing some of those dresses, and especially playing around with color. Digital art has opened a lot of doors for me regarding color because I can experiment with things so easily. There's no fear of, oh, I'm going to mess it up and I'll have wasted all of these expensive paints or papers. If I mess it up, I just hit Control Z and undo. And then I can try again or try a different method. And so that's really opened up a lot of ways for me to just experiment with different colors, and I'm really enjoying kind of seeing how things are turning out, and feel like things are actually looking like I want them to look like, which is exciting. It's no longer just a fluke when something actually looks good. I'm able to get more of a consistent result, which is nice to see. But my goal, I would love to produce a paper doll series that has fashions through the ages, that could be used, in conjunction with homeschooling, or even a history class in public school. And part of that is I loved history as a kid, but I'm very visual, and so a lot of my how I remember historical events and stuff is linked to, oh, what clothes were they wearing? Okay, because I know what clothes that person was wearing during, in that photo of that event, I can give you roughly the decade that was. I don't remember dates and times. I remember people and clothing. So, and it also gives a very interactive way to play with that time era. So you can have characters that are wearing the outfits, and then you can make believe and play during that. I also I want to make sets that depict different characters in books that I love. That's something that I've done for a long time. When I was a teenager, almost every book that I read that I really enjoyed, I would turn into a paper doll, and spend hours designing their wardrobe and going through the book to see, every single different scene that would require a different outfit. I would, just go through it and try to get as accurate or as close to the author's kind of intention as I possibly could. And there's some of those sets that I would like to go back and redo, because my art has progressed a lot since my teenage years, thankfully. And there are books that I still love, but the paper doll could use some updating. But that is my new goal, as far as the paper dolls go, is to start getting more organized with what I'm drawing and what I'm doing. And I guess it's that D word again, be more disciplined with my art. But I want to, rather than just sit down and just draw any random thing when I sit down, I want to have a plan laid out so that I have things ready to draw, and can actually have a cohesive project at the end that can actually be used for something, rather than just a bunch of random outfits drawn that maybe someone would like them to play with, but they don't really have a strong purpose or cohesive way of working together. So there we are. And someday I'd like to do maybe a how-to on how to make paper dolls, because it's really easy, and it's just slightly more difficult than playing with paper dolls. So it's also something that anyone can do, and if your kids like paper dolls, it's an easy craft to do to get them engaged with doing things also. So maybe in the future I'll do a little how-to on that to maybe get your creative juices going, and you can try some new things too. I hope you have a good week. I'll see you next time.